What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. I'm here with Aaron, and I'm going to add some additional thoughts. This is a video day after the fight of Oleksandr USYK versus Daniel Dubois. So, Aaron, what were your initial thoughts straight after watching that fight?
Straight after watching the fight, obviously the big controversy with the low blow. Initially, I'm still in two minds about it. Initially, when I saw it, I thought that was a legit body shot, and I genuinely thought that you're gonna have a new heavyweight champion of the world. So I was in disbelief. But my thoughts of the whole fight is good fight. Went out how I expected it. The first 4 or 5 rounds, the ball was in it. He wasn't winning, but he was definitely in it.
Yeah.
Did a couple of good few shots, but like I said in the prediction video, Usyk would get to him late, and that's what he did.
Fair enough. I mean, I thought, because I texted you at the time, and when I first saw it, I didn't see it I saw it from Usyk's back facing towards me first time, and then but it just had the feel of a legit body shot, and then like I wanted to see the replay. They kept playing it, showing like the wrong angle, and then they finally did, and I thought that was a legit body shot. That was my opinion. And I still do. Obviously, if you're telling me, obviously, like, you know, research and this and that, then I'll look into it. I also know it's a bit subjective because of like where boxers have their waistband on their shorts. Because I know who's that guy that beat Alan Babbage, Rosansky. For example, he's the guy that has his waistband real high. If you watch him, so. You know, obviously, if he gets hit there, does that count as a low blow? So it's like, you know, it is subjective. But in my opinion, at this time, I feel like it was a legit body shot. But I hear what you're saying. You were quite accurate with this. I think my alarm's gone off. That's my alarm it wasn't my alarm to talk to you. But yeah, so apologies for that, people. So yeah, you were quite accurate with your prediction, and I pretty much was with you in a lot of it, because you predicted it was going to be a stoppage. You did predict the stoppage, and not only that, you also predicted that Daniel Dubois would have success in this fight, and he did. So you were pretty spot on with that. I honestly think, looking back at it, Dubois surprised me. He didn't start as fast as I thought. Did you feel that as well?
Yeah, he didn't start as fast as I thought, but at the same time, I didn't really expect him to go full Chisora style type fast, just because I know Dubois doesn't like to get hit, and he will walk into something if he goes head on. So it was educated pressure from Dubois. I actually liked the work he was doing.
Yeah.
So I liked the work he was doing. In terms of the way. From round 2, he got hurt by a jab, and that's when I really just knew, this is going to be a very long night for Dubois. It was getting hit from straight on, early doors was getting hit.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'm going to quickly just pull out there, to add on your point, whenever Daniel Dubois got hit, it wasn't even necessarily his chin that looked vulnerable, it was like his legs. I think he's got a problem with his legs or his balance or something, like, honestly. Because against Kevin Lerena it looked to be a problem, against Latte it looked to be a problem, and moving back against Joe Joyce I think was a problem. And here it was almost like he's got some maybe leg injury or coordination issue.
I think that as well, especially your point with moving back against Joe Joyce. It was like he's kind of hopping back. It kind of looked like he was hopping back. It wasn't like it wasn't a natural movement, it was kind of hopping back. So yeah, I definitely agree with you about that.
So I think that's a problem. But one thing I want to say is that although Oleksandr USYK had the superior technical skill, I honestly believe that Daniel Dubois had demonstrated more ring IQ than many people maybe thought he had. And I also think that his dealing with the southpaw stance was better than many people would have maybe thought. I basically think that although his ring IQ was inferior to Usyk's, he demonstrated more ring IQ than he's ever shown in a boxing ring in that fight.
You can tell he's definitely good as a fighter. Against Joe Joyce, he kind of looked lost. He tried to like throw everything he's got, and then when that didn't happen, he kind of looked honest. Now he displayed a good jab. He displayed catch and counter. He was catching Usyk with the straight right a lot, to be fair. So against the southpaw, that's a good punch to land. So he definitely did show good IQ.
Yeah, definitely more than I've ever seen from him. So that's a positive you can take out of it. So we'll quickly sort of run through, obviously you giving your rundown, I'm going to quickly give my rundown, and then we'll talk about some additional things. So yeah, my rundown of the fight is he didn't start as quick as I thought, but he demonstrated better ring IQ, and he actually, although he wasn't winning the rounds boxing with Usyk, he was kind of boxing with Usyk, and I think that and what I mean by that is it wasn't a total drumming. It wasn't like total one-sided. He was losing the rounds, but he was boxing in spots with Usyk, which impressed me to an extent. And then I think the first round I gave him a share of was round 3. I think I gave the first 2 to Usyk. Then round 3 started coming to a little bit. Round 4.
Yeah.
He started to actually, I think I might have given him round 4, I can't remember, but he started to have some success with the right hand. He landed a good uppercut, and then round 5 I thought he legitimately knocked him down. Now here's the thing, right? I don't know if Usyk would have got up if that was a 10 count. I remember watching Kovalev versus Ward. Those were lower.
The rematch.
Those were lower, yeah. Those were lower.
Yeah.
Those were lower, man. So honestly, I'm trying to think if that was a Usyk shot against Dubois, I think you maybe would have seen a count being administered.
100%. I do agree with that. But in terms of this shot, do you know why I'm maybe thinking it could have traded a bit low? I'm not sure if you really looked into it, but in the replay, the way his shorts moved, it's like there wasn't anything there.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? So I think they're showing there's a gap there. So obviously that's where the groin area is. That's why I'm thinking maybe it has trained a bit low. Okay,
now I'm not dismissing. I'm not going to 100% dislike. I think it was legit, but I'm always open to being proven wrong with things. So I will do some more research and I will have a look. And if I change my opinion, I'll come out and say I was wrong. But at this moment in time, I gotta go with what I'm saying until I conduct some further research.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think Dubois, after that, he went for Usyk after that, which was a sensible thing to do, but not enough. And I also think if they were thinking it was legit, because I've seen Dubois come out and say he was cheated, if that's honestly what he thought, he should have been hustling the ref. Don Charles should have maybe even got in the ring and hustled the ref.
Exactly.
And made more of a meal of it, because
Usyk was like low-key telling the ref, okay, you're hitting me low. He did that against Joshua in the rematch as well.
Yeah.
He's letting the ref know. I think he has too much power in the ring.
Yeah, definitely. Because I remember against Joshua, and I think I gave him the benefit of the doubt without researching it against Joshua, because I hadn't seen him do that before. So I kind of just thought, okay, maybe he was hit low. And like, again, Joshua didn't really protest it so much. He kind of smiled, I think, and walked back. So, but if I want to watch the Joshua one back, because I'm thinking, is this a pattern that he does? And then I also watched the amateur fight. Usyk was involved in an amateur fight, and he fought, I don't know if it was the Beterbiev one or against another guy, but he got hit to the body and he walked away and the ref administered a count. So I don't know if this is something that he does, or I was actually thinking this guy's a bit of a diva. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like honestly, he thinks he can just dictate what goes on in the ring. But I won't go on about it too much because I want to move on with the rest of the fight. I was going to say, I think Dubois, I just wanted to make the point that I don't think they protested it at the time enough. I also think Mauricio Suleiman actually, there was a fight where Vianello versus Rice, and I think the ref tried to give it as a remember when Rice got, I don't know if you watched that fight,
I watched the highlights of it, yeah,
and Rice hit Vianello with a right hand, and then the referee tried to say the cut was caused by, and Vianello bleeding, and the ref tried to say the cut was caused by headbutt, and then the ref was forced by, I think, the commission on the spot to watch the replay, and then he goes, oh no, it was caused by a punch. So I don't know if replay could have been used with this, and then what would they have concluded had they done that. But you know, that we'll never know. I'll just quickly say I don't think it was protested enough by Dubois' team. So moving on, Dubois went for it, which is the right thing to do, but not enough. And then that allowed USYK to get back into the fight. And I think that USYK was feeling the body shots throughout the fight, because whenever Dubois hit him to the body, I don't know if you noticed this, USYK's work rate would decrease rapidly.
And he crouched down as well, so he was definitely, I think there was one round, might be in round 7, he got hit with a body shot, he almost had the same reaction going down, but he stood up for this one. So he definitely felt it 100%.
Yeah, he kind of bowled over like a little bit.
Yeah.
So he was feeling those body shots, man. And Dubois, he was having success, Dubois. Like when he wanted to, he was having his success. He was, he landed I think he landed a right hand at the beginning of a round, and USYK started this round like confident. I can't remember what round it was. I think it might have been round 7 or 8. USYK came out confident. Dubois tagged him with a right hand, and USYK just backed right up after that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. He came out really confident, got hit with a good right hand, and then USYK just said, "Yeah, that's enough for today."
Yeah. So man, USYK, I'm telling you, man, USYK felt the power. Dubois made him feel the power. Dubois made him respect his power. Dubois had success to the body. Dubois was a live dog in this race, but here's what happened, and you already know this, man. He got hit with a combination, and they didn't even land flush, and he avoided the he wasn't punched to the floor. He ducked. He
kind of bowled over to the floor.
Yeah, he ducked under. It was almost like he avoided the punch so he could go down. It's like he did it's like a duck and then a knee. It's like he tried to take a knee. He somehow messed it up, so then he had to try and take a knee again. It's like he tried it twice. And then I thought that he was going to count himself out on the first time, because he got up at 9 something the first time.
He did.
So I don't know if he messed it up. He tried to quit and messed it up. I don't know. But he got the count. He went back to his corner, and from that moment onwards, I thought he was injured. Honestly, I think he messed his leg up again. It looked like his leg was moving funny after that.
Because there was a shot in the 9th round. We used to hit with a backhand, and his leg kind of did like a little. He bounced up. It was a weird reaction to it.
I think he's injured, honestly. I think he got an injury from that. Or he never recovered from the Lorena injury, or he's got some leg injury, because after that, he wasn't moving the same. When he came out for round 9, he weren't moving the same. And then he got hit with a jab, and I'm sorry, man. I'm not the one taking punches from USYK. I'm not the one taking punches from Joyce, but he did the same thing. He quit. He was up at 9.5, or he tried to get up, isn't it? He tried to get up.
He tried to do the same thing that Charles Martin did against Joshua, that he got up at 10, then you would want to try and process it, but you know why he got up at 10.
He got up, he tried to quit, man. He quit, and then he wanted to say, "Oh, no, what are you doing?" So, he got up at even 9.5, and I don't know if in that, for that fight, he had to be up at 8, and then, I don't know, but he basically, he wanted out. He quit straight up from a jab.
Definitely.
From a jab. Again.
Literally from a jab. From someone, do you know what it is? He's not a soft puncher by no means, but he's not a heavy puncher. So for you to quit against essentially a person that is 100 kg, that's very concerning. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, and that's the second time he's done it. See, I like to give fighters the benefit of the doubt when they quit, because Vitaly Klitschko quit against Chris Bird, was that his name? Chris Bird, and then he proved himself against Lennox Lewis. So obviously he didn't want to do that again. There are fighters who quit and then they're like, do you know what? I'm not going to let that happen again. I can't do that, and then they don't quit again. But Daniel Dubois, this is twice now, and I could see the mental crumbling. I could see it as the fight progressed. I could see the mental crumbling starting. And so I'm very concerned about Daniel Dubois moving forward for a couple of reasons. One, whenever he's put on that back foot, it doesn't even look like he's got a weak chin. It looks like he's got there's something wrong with his leg. His leg. So whenever he's put on the back foot, it just looks so awkward, and it looks like he can be pummeled over. That's one concern. The other concern is his heart, because he quit in this fight.
It's a serious problem, honestly, and just to go into that point a bit more, from this point onwards, as Frank Warren, you have to really be careful who you match Dubois with. If you have someone that has constant pressure they will beat Dubois just because he's not mentally strong enough.
Yeah, full on. Like I can't. And the thing with Dubois is he showed the worst of himself and he showed the best of himself. Like he's got real ingredients, man, to work with. Because he was losing the boxing contest with USYK, but how many fighters are gonna box like USYK?
Yeah.
So he showed that he can punch, he can box, he's got good punch selection, he's a strong guy, but then he's got this problem with his leg. I don't know what it is, like, and he's also got heart problems. I don't think he's got. I know he went down from a jab, and I know he went down in the 8th. I don't think he's got chin issues.
You know what it is with people with fighters that have chin issues, you know, because they're all over the place. They get one-shotted. With Dubois, it's just that he's going down voluntarily. Like he's going down. He's putting himself down.
Yeah, he's never actually been forced to the camera. You know, Amir Khan, like getting rocked from jabs or the right hand against Canelo, or like, fair enough, that was weight class disparity. But you know what I mean? Fighters getting pummeled to the floor, like that, like the force of the punch made them go down. It wasn't the case with Dubois, was it? Like he goes down, as you said, voluntarily. Like, so it's a concern.
You have to really be careful who they're matching with, because it's something like, I know Chisora's past it, but Chisora maybe 3-4 years ago, I would think he beats Dubois. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I think he'll stop Dubois.
Yeah, me too.
Just because that constant pressure will be way too much for Dubois, way too much.
Yeah, and it's not even it's the mental, isn't it? It's not the athletic or the physical. So
that's why at the time when they were talking about making Dillian Whyte versus Dubois, I think I was one of the only few people that actually thought Dillian Whyte would win. I think that, you know, they were talking about making that fight probably just under a year ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I honestly thought this is easy pickings for Dillian Whyte, honestly.
Yeah, very possibly. So the only thing is, obviously, White. I think if White that will be a toss up, because I can see that, but I can also see White. We only need to catch White once if you're a heavy puncher now.
True.
But either way, let's move on to USYK. Did USYK look like he's on the decline to you?
Yes, I think he slowed down a lot. Maybe, I think what slowed down is his footwork. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that slowed down a lot. I think he slowed down a lot. He's not as elusive as he was. Even in the Joshua second fight, to be honest with you, he looked a lot, not a lot slow, but he looked a little bit slower in that fight than he did in the first fight. Yeah,
I think so. And the same weight as well. And then did you notice he was showing Dubois less angles in this fight than he normally shows fights?
Yeah, honestly. And that's to be expected. You're 37, you've had 300 plus amateur fights. It's expected, of course, but it is a bit concerning. I'm not going to lie to you. USYK is slowing down, and it's just crazy because I think he slowed down a lot from that Joshua rematch to last night. A lot.
Yeah, I think he slowed down. And do you know what I was thinking to myself? He needs to fight Fury now. I honestly had the same conversation with someone. If I'm Oleksandr USYK, it's not good, but ring activity, fight Fury next or no one, because I'm not sure if I told you this. I said I think USYK will lose to someone that we don't expect. Yeah, we spoke about that. Yeah, like Mine Bacoli or something like that.
This was before this performance yesterday.
Yeah.
So if I'm USYK, I'm only fighting Tyson Fury next. That's it.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're both on the decline, but honestly, I think because of the attributes and the styles, I think because I was picking, I think I've told you this before. If I said before this fight, who wins out of USYK and Fury, I think USYK. Now I'm having to rethink that, and I think the style. But when you're looking at age and how age affects a fighter, you got to look at the different aspects. So Fury, one of the things of him, he's got agility, he's got endurance, he goes to 12, he's got punch selection, ring IQ, he's got all that. USYK has all that as well, and I think he's superior to Fury in terms of agileness, in terms of I'm rethinking this now, in terms of like angles, ring IQ. I think some of that he's actually superior to Fury, but Fury's a big man, so when they both slow down, the big man thing comes into it a lot in terms of like the physicality, because USYK of 2000 and say 15 when he beat Glowacki, or when he was in the World Boxing Super Series, he stays away from Fury. he can stay away. He can run around. He can't do that so much now. Now I'm thinking the big man element of the fight may even if Fury even decides to turn southpaw, because I honestly think like if Fury goes orthodox, that gives Usyk an advantage. I think if Fury potentially, I might be wrong, I'm just throwing it out there, Fury goes southpaw, puts the high guard up to take goes southpaw to take the angles away from Usyk, puts the high guard up and just walks Usyk down, maybe forfeits the first 4-5 rounds because the movement might still be there, but with Usyk's age, eventually catches up with him, pins him to the ropes, body shots go in. I can see him stopping Usyk after that.
Honestly. And it's just crazy because I was actually watching it this morning. Usyk, he slowed down tremendously. Everything even when he fought Joshua the first time, he slowed down from that. Yeah. A lot. So if I'm Usyk, there's a reason why Krasnik is pushing this Fury fight, because I think they even know in their heads, like, we've not got a lot of time left. And you know, one thing I realised as well about yesterday, the way Usyk was really celebrating that win, which makes me indicate that was a tough fight for him yesterday.
Relieved as well.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think that Usyk we spoke about this, I think Usyk was better as a cruiserweight back then. He comes up to heavyweight, and even when Usyk fought Joshua, I think he was already past his best by that point. Like, he's not a shot, I don't even think he's a shot fighter now, but when he fought Joshua the first time, that wasn't the best Usyk. I think the best Usyk was at cruiserweight, in my opinion. And then, now he's even worse than when he fought Joshua the first time. And the second time, to be fair. So I think Fury, I don't like what Fury's done, but he may have really...
Makes sense. He's a perfect businessman.
Yeah, he may have really like played this beautifully in terms of tactics. So I think now, because as I say, both in my opinion, both are past their best. Fury's past his best and Usyk's past his best. But you see how George Foreman was still able to have success even though he was slow as molasses when he was in his 40s. Yeah. It's the size and the strength. And I think that once Usyk's feet are gone, Fury's feet are gone as well, but Usyk's not going to be able to stay away from Tyson Fury for the whole 12 rounds. And that's when it becomes... I was thinking before, maybe that in terms of odds in my head, maybe before it was Usyk 2-1, Fury evens or something like that. Now, you know, if once Usyk's feet are gone, you're looking at like 3-1, 4-1 Fury.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I would actually go a bit high. I would go a bit higher because they say in boxing styles make fights. I think Joshua gives Fury a harder fight than Usyk gives Fury, just because Usyk slowed down tremendously. I can't believe it, I'm not going to lie to you. And like you said, without your feet, Usyk's game is diminished.
Yeah. And honestly, I honestly believe Fury's feet are gone, by the way, or almost gone, but he's got the size to compensate.
He's got the reach, he's got the physical ability, so he's got things to compensate it, like you said.
But Usyk, he hasn't got as much to compensate. He relies on it more. So yeah, long story short, I'm thinking Fury's chance have astronomically increased to beat Oleksandr USYK. So we'll have to see what the future holds with regards to that. So yeah, any closing thoughts? Anything you think we haven't spoke about or touched on?
Just in terms of if Dubois is going to also carry on, he's a young guy. I advise him to stick at this weight because actually, like, he looked a lot more fluid. Dubois is obviously not going to be like Usyk dancing around, but he looked a lot more fluid, less stiff, because Dubois is a very stiff fighter. But at this weight, I actually liked he wasn't as stiff as he was before, because it's almost like someone put something on Dubois' back. Like, his back doesn't move, he's so stiff.
Like Kell Brook, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that stiffness about him. So I think this weight, as long as you don't feel diminished, I think try and keep it this weight.
Yeah, I think he looked a lot. He still had the power, and I also think that he was lighter on his feet. Although I still think, if Dubois is going to carry on, there needs to be some issues addressed here, and that is one, if he's got some sort of underlying chronic injury with his leg, he needs to sort that out, because whenever he gets put on the back foot, it just looks awkward as anything, and it looks like he can be put to the floor just because of his balance. Truth be told,
it's happened multiple times now.
Yeah, and I think his heart, like, because you can't. how much is Frank Warren gonna invest in him if he's getting going on the floor after a jab from a blown up cruiserweight? Like, how much?
Yeah.
Like, so if he goes up against Joshua, and let's say, I don't know, it's a close fight, he's even winning the fight, he's put Joshua down, but then he gasses a bit, Joshua throws, like, I don't know, like a jab, and Joshua's jab is going to have more power in it than Dubois' jab, in Usyk's jab, and then Dubois just has enough. Like, or if he goes up against, I don't know, Michael Hunter, and Michael Hunter puts the work on him and hustles him, which Michael Hunter does. Like, and then Dubois, you see how Michael Hunter fought Sergey Kuzman. I can see that type of fight beating Dubois, like, because just like hustling and making him uncomfortable, and Dubois decides he's had enough. So there needs to be some serious soul searching from Dubois' team and figuring out, because that can't go on. I'm telling you, that cannot go on.
It can't, because he will lose. Like I say, I'm not sure I told you about this. There's a lot of fighters I'll pick over Dubois. I'm not gonna. There's like in the top 15, I would. Even, I'm going to say top 20, there's at least 10 to 15 people that I think would beat Dubois. I can name a couple. I think Jermaine Franklin would beat Dubois. I think someone like Martin Bocoli would beat Dubois. I think with Dubois, you have to really be careful how you match him. Really be careful. I'm
half thinking to pick Carlos Takam over him now.
I'm thinking you got to really be careful with the way you match Dubois. So, if Frank Warren is a thing, are you going to cash him out to maybe put a joint rematch or feed him to Fury, or are you going to try and build him?
Yeah, I think they're really going to have to think about that. Although Warren seems to have like what would I call it? Sort of like just some sort of light. Yeah, that's it for Dubois, because most fights they'd be out the door, man. Like,
out the door. Warren's ruthless. He doesn't.
I mean,
I think he sees the potential in Dubois in terms of money making.
Yeah.
He probably sees him as an Anthony Joshua 2.0, so that's why I think he's probably keeping him. But there will be a time if he loses again, and then that same type of fashion, I think his only saving grace is you could talk about the body shot, so it's not all lost, but as a whole, if you actually break down the performance, the way he lost, the way he's gone down voluntarily, it's not good.
Nah, it's not good. And the fact this controversy is kind of like sort of papered over that.
Papered over it, yeah.
Like, because last time the Joe Joyce fight, that's what everyone was talking about, and I had him winning the Joe Joyce fight. By the way, it was competitive. I had him winning.
Very competitive, very competitive.
So this is what I mean. If he's going to do that in a competitive fight, look, they're warriors, man, and I know that they're eye and everything, but you know what you sign up for if you become a boxer. And I'm not saying that, like, it's just like if you're winning a fight and you go down, it's like it gets to that point where like you got to make that choice. And biologically it's a sensible thing to do. Like animals, if they can flee a fight and live to see another day so they can reproduce and all that stuff, they will do it. But like you got to decide, are you the fighter or are you the fleer? So, and he's in the wrong sport if he's the fleer, because like, so I don't know, man. Frank Warren can only do so much even if he really likes the guy. So, but yeah, he's got to be careful. They got to think about his future, because and the thing is, he has ingredients there, but you can't force a guy to have heart, can you? So,
yeah, you can't.
All right. So those are our thoughts. Thank you to Aaron for being on here again. And yeah, let me know what you thought, man. Let me know what your thoughts are. We'd love to hear it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I'm making a new video. And I'll see you on the next video.